Hey everyone, it's Brick Waffle here, and today we are back on the WaffleMods server, and we can see the castle up here, and you can see I have found a mineshaft ravine that is straight back from the castle and a little bit of land. We're going to look at that maybe a little bit later on today, but I wanted to give you a tour of what's been going on. So I covered some of this in the last episode, but we have finished the outside wall of the castle. Let's go ahead and pop inside here. Some things that we've done. We have replaced all of this stuff with hardened flux duct, so we've got a lot more power generation. This reinforced magma crucible is working just fine. We've got quite a bit of destabilized redstone in here, and we managed to make a few octadic capacitors, so our sag mill and our alloy smelter are working very quickly. And this little ender chest here connects out to our smeltery in the yard, so that we can just drop stuff into that gray ender chest, and it'll go into the smeltery and then back down into our system automatically. We have a couple of beds here. I had brought back a villager from the other village and had made myself a little fiancé, and then I was wandering around the base and I saw that she suffocated in a wall, so apparently their pathfinding is not very good and my fiancé is no more. That's unfortunate. We're going to work on getting a different villager back here at some point, because I would like to still raise a Minecraft family. I think that's kind of a neat thing with Minecraft Comes Alive, but we're going to have to build them a little bit safer place to live as well. We've got our battery up here that we can change out whenever we need to. That's got a redstone energy cell into it. And for now, we're still automating by dropping things into this chest and getting the circuits back out. But eventually, we will be able to put an interface on that and connect it up with the system. We just have to make a few more pieces for AE2. If we go out into the yard here, you can see that we've got our smeltery over there. That's the part that's set up to automatically dump stuff into the network when it's done. And big yard, a butterfly out here, a couple butterflies and a slug. Maggot? What is that? Maggot, yeah, okay. So we got some bugs out here in the yard, no big deal. And then our outside roof is complete, so we can go in any of these doors here and go up to the second floor or the third floor. There's really nothing inside the walls other than lighting to make sure we don't have any monsters spawn in here. But monsters can absolutely still spawn out in the yard, or certainly underground. But if we go in here, you can see it's going to be exactly the same as the first floor. And then if we go up top, we have a pretty good view of the whole thing from here. So this is a lot of cobble. Using those cobblestone generators from Better Chests was a huge time saver. And now we have a very nice, very well defended place to kind of look out and build the rest of our base from. So we are going to do some farming in here at some point. That's why this is all grass right now. It looks kind of bland. We're going to do some things with that. It's a little bit strange that this biome changes here, but that's okay. We can work with that as well. And we're going to do some animal raising, that sort of stuff. It's kind of hard because this is cobblestone walls. We can't jump up here, but you can see that this isn't exactly a regular shape. But that's all right. We don't need it to be. We can put in some pens along one wall. We can put in some farmland. We can put in some... well, once we get our villagers back, we can have them help us gather those crops as well. And in here, there's no direct access to this room because the floor is actually right about here. And so the floors of the keep don't line up quite with the walls or the floors of the outer wall. But in this area, it's pretty easy. It's only off by one block, so we just threw some stairs in, and we can go right back inside from the second floor. So that's pretty much what we've been doing so far. We do have a little bit going on in the basement here. We've got our network. It's still very small and very ugly, but we have a charger here for making charged Certus quartz. We have our crystal growth accelerators around here, our single ME controller, and our crafting terminal. And this is our ender chest that's an import bus that's going into the network, so we can dump stuff from our bag right into the network. So if I dump my lumber axe in there, it'll go into the network. We can pick this up again here, osmium lumber axe. Everything is working the way we want it to. So that's all working very well. We do have, I believe, plenty of fuel in here. Yep, we've still got a full stack because I just topped that off. And we are still producing a little bit more power than we're using. I know it's kind of hard to see that number, but it is going up. So that's fantastic. Whenever we use these machines, it's going to drain out of that battery reserve, and then it'll fill back up when we're done using them. So today we have a couple of big plans. What we want to do is go to the nether, and we need to get some materials. I want to start getting a deep storage unit for cobblestone because we have this thing right here, and it's just full of cobble, and there's nothing else I can do with it at the moment. I could start putting it on the network, but that's just going to fill up storage that we don't need to use. So we're going to do that. We're going to get the deep storage unit. We're going to get that connected up to the network with a high priority for cobble, and that way any cobble we get will go into that and not take up space elsewhere. So what we need for that is some platinum. And for that, we need to go to the nether to get our platinum ore. And we're also going to need a few other things, some fused quartz, which needs regular quartz to make. So basically, it's just a lot of material gathering. Now, that's the one downside to having our portal right here inside the fortress. And actually, I think what I'm going to do is go out the back of this with our hammer here and start tunneling. Ooh, whoa, hey, we've got some Oh, that's not good at all. Those guys are really hard to get. There we go. Really hard to see when we're on fire. But these are like nether silverfish. I think they're called hellfish. And I think... Did I get them? Wow, that was very, very dangerous. So that's meant to keep me from tunneling through the nether fortress, I believe. Thankfully, that appears to be done. But we're going to sit here for just a minute and get our health back. Well, actually, that seems like it should be safe now. We'll see here in just a minute. Let's take some of that out. And osmium's fine, but what we really want is platinum. So we are going to start digging through here a ways and see if we can find some ore, or get to the outside in some other way. Okay, so we are back, and after dropping things in there, we've got some coal ore we should deal with. Let's see, copper ore, lapis ore, osmium ore. We do have platinum. We have 9 platinum ore, 73 nether quartz ore, some saltpeter ore, sulfur ore, tin ore, and that's about it. So we do have some things that we can cook up and smelt. One thing we can do is we can put the nether ore into the alloy smelter, and that will cook it into regular ore for us. And you can see with the octadic capacitor, this goes pretty quickly. And that we can just break the regular coal ore, or we can pulverize it. Let's see, what else do we want to put in there? Copper ore needs to go the same way. Lapis will need to go the same way. And then basically all of these will need to go that same way. And I think platinum ore, let's double check that. Uses, we can grind it into pulverized shiny metal, or we can smelt it into shiny ore. And shiny ore should be able to be turned into platinum. Shiny ingot with pyrotheum dust. Yeah. And shiny ingot, I believe, is the same as platinum. So what we can do is, in a furnace, we can get shiny ingots. We want to test that and see if we can actually get that. Oh, interesting. There it goes. Osmium ore. Let's do the tin first. I think that we can actually get a fluid out of this. I think that's what I just saw in here too. Smelting, induction smelter, alloy smelter. Maybe not. Let's check one more thing. Dissolution chamber. Okay, that's actually a good thing. We could do it with mechanism. Huh. Okay, so maybe we'll just have to do that in for... right here in the alloy smelter. I'm going to try to throw it in the smeltery from thermal foundation, or whichever one that is, and see if we can double it. And nether sulfur ore I think we can grind directly. Okay, so nether sulfur, we can definitely grind that. That's going to give us plenty of sulfur, and we've got loads of that right now, so we're going to be good for a while. Yeah, we might have to, yeah, we're going to have to take that out before we can even finish that little stack of 12. And then we're going to do the saltpeter and the quartz, and once this last stack of quartz is going, we'll go ahead and run out to the next machine here. Let's get that. Put the quartz in there next. Okay. And let's throw some of this in here, so we don't need any of this sulfur. And we don't need the niter or the netherrack. We're going to keep the rest of this stuff. Let's go ahead and throw the shiny ore in there and see if it will actually work in the smelter. I think that's a good sign that it's going in. But let's go ahead and run out there real quick and take a peek. See if this turns into liquid shiny metal or liquid platinum, whatever they want to call it. Excellent. It is cooking up in here, and we're going to see in a second that this will either work or it will crash. I'm not sure if this is set up correctly or not. Brilliant. Molten shiny, so that's making ingots. It's going into this chest, and we're going to see it going right back in the network. Fantastic. So we could go back and use it. Oops. Coal I can't do that with. Hold on. Get back out of there, coal. But everything else I should be able to put in here. It's going to go smelt up. Yeah, I know I put copper and tin in there, so it's going to make some bronze, and it might leave some leftover pieces, but that's all right. We can deal with that in a little bit. The other thing we need to take care of is our food situation. You can see that I'm running low on hunger, and I ate all the bread that I had earlier, and I have no other food on me, so we'll need to take care of that as well. But for now, let's go ahead and throw the rest of that quartz in there. And then once that's going, we can get our coal going as well. Okay, all of that. Do we have any kind of food? We have some apples. That'll do in a pinch, like right now. But that's one of the things we want to work on after we get this deep storage unit set up. Okay, so while that's going, let's go ahead and see what we're going to need for deep storage. Oops, deep storage. Alright, so we're going to need some plastic sheets, which is raw plastic, which we get from smelting rubber bars, which we get from raw rubber. And that's a lot of which we get, but I do have quite a bit of rubber here. We're going to need to cook that up. Let's use the alloy smelter for that. That should be pretty quick. It's going to give us all these rubber sheets. Yeah, that's not as fast as I would like, but it's working. That'll have to do for now. And when we get these, we're going to cook these again into plastic pellets, and then we're going to cook those into plastic, or we're going to combine those into plastic sheets. Okay, so that's going for now. What else do we need? Reinforced strong boxes, which are made from hardened strong boxes, which are made from strong boxes, or we got tin and Invar. Okay, so hardened strong boxes need Invar. Regular chests need tin and Invar. I think we're going to have plenty of that as well. Oh, we don't have any chests. Oops, cheesed. Regular chests. Okay, let's go ahead and just make 9 of those. That's good. Perfect. And then we need a strong box. Oh, we already have 4 hardened strong boxes. Well, I'm glad I didn't get too far on that. Deep storage, so we need reinforced strong boxes, which are hardened strong boxes, along with hardened glass or fused quartz, and that's what we're out of. So we're going to need to take that quartz that we're grinding up here and cook it. Let's go ahead and get this rubber cooking back into that first. Great. Another quartz dust. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and cook more of this into raw plastic. I'm going to get this coal ground up, and I'm going to start cooking in quartz into crystals, and I'll be right back when I have the rest of the pieces. Alright, so we have some cobblestone and pulverized coal as side products. We've got our fused quartz, so let's go back to deep storage. And we're going to make those hardened, reinforced strong boxes rather. So 1, 2, 3, oh, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. And we've got our plastic sheets. And then we just need to make the redstone, what's it? Resonant energy cell frame. Which needs a redstone energy cell frame, which we can make with that. And then we need to make Enderium ingots. And for that, we need Enderium blend and pyrotheum dust. So pyrotheum dust, I believe we can make. How much of this are we going to need? So 4 ingots. And we get 2 ingots for every pyrotheum dust. So we only need 2 pyrotheum dust, which we get from 1 combined. Perfect. And then we need, what is Enderium blend? It's a resonant ender bucket. And that's our pulverized shiny metal, tin, and silver. So 2 tin, 1 silver, and 1 shiny metal for each 4 Enderium blend. This is a little bit confusing in the math here. And every 2 Enderium blend is 2 ingots. So each blend is 1 ingot. Alright, so let's go back to that. We need 1 blend for each ingot. Man, if I could click a little bit better, this would be better. So that means we need 1 pulverized shiny metal, 2 tin, and 1 silver for each of those. So 4 silver, 4 shiny, and 8 tin. Let's get silver, shiny, and tin. 1, 2, 3, 4. Shiny. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we need to get some tin as well. I guess it doesn't really matter which one we do. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoops. 10. 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so we're going to need to throw all of that in the sag mill to grind that up as well. And while that's going, we're going to need to make sure we have 4 buckets, which we have exactly 4. That's perfect. And then I think we need 4 ender pearls. We have 2 of those. So let me double check my math on that real quick. Let's go ahead and throw that in there. That's going to be pretty quick. Throw those in there. Okay, and then for our ender pearls, those uses here. Magma crucible, cooking one of these makes 250 millibuckets of resonant ender. And if we go back to our deep storage, how much resonant ender do we need? 250 millibuckets, we would need 4 of those to make a bucket of resonant ender, wouldn't we? Or Enderium base, which is tin, silver, and shiny. Alright, maybe that's the better way to do this. I know I just ground that up, but maybe we want it that way, because 2 pearls gives us, still 2 ingots. We're still going to need 4 no matter what. So we're going to need to get a couple more ender pearls. I'm going to go out enderman hunting, but I think that's going to be better, because I think in order to make the bucket of liquid Enderium, we're going to need more than that. Let's go back and triple check me on this. Resonant Ender Bucket, which you can get in a magma crucible. And it needs 1,000 millibuckets to make a Resonant Ender Bucket. So yeah, that's definitely going to be not the way to go. But that's okay, we've got more tin and shiny and pulverized. So we're going to get, we'll make our Enderium base, which is going to be 1 shiny, 1 silver, and 2 tin. So same ratios there. Silver, 1, 2, 3, 4, and tin. Let's just take, oop, that's not what I wanted to do. That's what I wanted to do. And if we put this all in the alloy smelter, it ought to cook up into Enderium base for us. Perfect. And we still got our, what is that, Pyrotheum dust. So this way all we need is, well, let's just throw that in there, we just need 2 more ender pearls. Alright, so I'm going to go hunt some endermen. It is nighttime, that's the perfect time to do it, and I will be back with you guys in just a little bit. Okay, so we have, we've got a couple of problems. I broke my sword, and my armor was getting damaged. I went to repair it, and I realized it costs levels to repair unenchanted iron armor. And that's really just not worth it. So at this point, I'm just going to go ahead and make myself a set of osmium armor. So let's do this. See if I can do this right. There's pants. No, I didn't do that right. Okay, pants and a hat. And let's see, we want to do a chest. And put all that back. And some boots. Perfect. Okay, so we can put all these on. We also, like I said, lost our sword while we were fighting Endermen, but you can see we did get 6 pearls. Do we have any swords in here? We have a stone sword. Okay, so let's see what else we can make. That's not what I meant to do. What materials do we have for that? I don't think you can make swords out of cyanite, but that would be interesting if you could. Mana Steel, that's from Botania, which we just recently added to the pack. We could actually go out and make a decent one from the Tinker's Construct stuff. But for now, I think what we're going to do is just use the metals that we have. Actually, what is that? Sword blade. Slime sword blade. That's not very good at all. Yeah, let's just go ahead and make ourselves an osmium sword. I think that's going to be just fine for the time being. So let's do a couple of those and a stick and call it good. Oh, we don't have any sticks. Wow. Wood. Throw those sticks in there. Osmium sword. Put that guy in there too. Time to strike. Yeah, we got some achievements out of order for sure. Okay, so now we need to look at our Enderium base again. Enderium. Get our Enderium base. And to make these, we can craft 2 of those, 2 ender pearls, and pyrotheum dust in the alloy smelter. Let's come over here. Boom, boom, boom. And that should be enough to make 4 ingots of Enderium. And we can easily make some more Enderium base by making more pyrotheum dust. We'll probably need more Enderium in the future, so let's go ahead and make a little bit more pyrotheum. 1, 2, and that should be everything we have the other materials for. That does take a long time to cook, doesn't it? Okay. So we're going to have a couple of leftovers when we're done here, but this is almost ready to go. Once we get this second combined, we can take these 2 pieces and make that resonant energy frame and finish our deep storage unit. Come on. There it goes. Okay, so let's throw all of that in there, and let's do a deep storage one more time. We need to make this resonant energy cell frame, which we can now make. And we should have everything we need for a deep storage unit. Fantastic. So, the other thing we'll need is a storage bus. And for that, we need an interface, piston and a sticky piston. And for that, we need the formation cores. Okay, for that we need to grind fluix. So we'll get this all taken care of. You can see that it takes a little while, and let's not grind 64 of those. Let's just go ahead and grind 8 of those for now. Oh, I can't put 8 of those in the sag mill. Interesting. Can I only get fluix dust from grinding regular fluix crystals? Huh. So that's going to be a problem because we have only been getting fluix by making pure fluix here. Interesting. Okay. So we can do fluix the old-fashioned way, which is charged Certus quartz and regular quartz and redstone dust and a pool of water. So let's drop out here. I'm sorry about that lag today. I don't know what's going on with that. Oops. I guess I stood in that pond. Didn't mean to. There it goes. Regular fluix crystals. And let's grind those up into dust. Perfect. And let's throw those in there. Interface. We need one formation core. And one annihilation core. And then do we have everything else we need? We do. There's one ME interface. Let's go ahead and make 2 of those for now, because we're going to need those for other things later on. And then that we needed for the storage unit, or storage bus rather. And we don't have any sticky pistons. Do we have enough slime to make sticky pistons? Oh, we have, with rubber we can do it. We don't have any rubber left. Where did I put all that? Oh, I did cook all the rubber up. Let's see, do we have any slimes at all? No, but we have congealed green slimes. Can we break that down? Oops. Okay, so we might need to plant a few trees out here, and I'll get some rubber, get the rest of this together, make the storage bus, and I will be back again when we have the storage unit hooked up. Alright, so we have the deep storage unit set up downstairs, and I'm going to break a couple of things, which is going to give me a lot of cobble here, and we're going to move a lot of that downstairs. But before we put all that in there, what we need to do is I'll show you how to make cobble a priority, so everything goes into here and not into this storage unit. So deep storage unit already has cobble in it. We'll throw some more on the ground, and then we will try to throw it in the unit this time. Sometimes that happens when you do that. But then we have the storage bus connected to it. So what we do here is you can set the priority at, let's say it's 1,000. That's going to make sure that anything that comes in here, input-output mode bidirectional, things can go into and out of that unit, and we're not going to partition the storage because we don't have to worry about it. It only stores one kind of thing. But now when things go into the network, you'll be able to see that it goes into that deep storage unit. So we have 4,728 cobblestone, and it's a little bit less than, or more than what's in here, which means some of it's still stored in the network itself. So let's go ahead and grab cobblestone here. So 4,600 left in there, 4,664. And you can see that that's actually going to be really hard to tell because we have that cobblestone still in the network. So if we break this cable, oops, and then we run up here and out of the water, around the corner and grab this. Where did we already grab it? Where did it go? Where did that go? There it goes. Okay. So this has 4664. If we come back over here, cobblestone, we have none. And that's interesting. I can't explain that. Where did our cable go as well? I lost the glass cable. That's very strange. Okay, let's try this again. So we have, a little bit of glass cable left. Throw that on there, and then we're going to put our storage bus back on. Make sure that's set to priority 1000. 4660, oh, I see, 4664 plus that 64 that's in there. Yep. Okay, so that's why all of our cobblestone on the network is in here now, and that's going to make sure that anything that comes into the network gets stored in here as a priority over the drive, which has a lower priority. In fact, the priority is 0 here, so anything that has higher is going to go into that deep storage unit. Hopefully that made sense. I know that was kind of a long-winded explanation. But now if I come back over here, and I just use our ender pouch and send all that into the network, that's going to go right back into that same deep storage unit, which we can verify here in just a second. Let's go ahead and run down, and you'll see that the deep storage unit is actually filling up with items as we speak. So you can see there it goes. They're all going into there. We can speed it along by dropping them in ourselves, which is what we're going to do. Not that losing cobble is a big deal, but we don't want to lose our better chest here. And because what we're going to do is hook that back up downstairs to have it continue to produce cobble into this deep storage unit. So there we go. Okay, so as I said before, or as I did before, I'm going to come up here, and I'm going to drop down onto this deep storage unit at some point, but before I do that, let's go ahead and put this chest up, and let's put the cobblestone upgrade on it, Then let's put these, actually we don't really need the storage upgrades on it anymore. Let's save those. Let's throw those back in the network, because now it's going to be putting it directly into the deep storage here. We also don't need our item filter because the only thing that can go into deep storage is the cobble. So if we put those two in, oh, I see, but we still need it to keep it out of the transfer node. So let's put that back in there, put that up there, and it should just, yep, starts making cobble, and immediately it's going into the deep storage unit. So over time, this is going to produce just infinite cobble for us, and we're going to be able to hold a heck of a lot more than we could with just a chest, which is our goal. So now, later on, when we get into things like making compressed cobblestone, we're going to be good to go. We can verify that that's all showing up in the network here, so we have over 9,000. Yes, it's over 9,000 cobble. So that's fantastic. We could even use our other cobble that we have left over from the wall. We had a gold chest, I believe, full of that, and that's what we used to make those external walls outside. But we'll save that in case we need to do any fixing later on. So now that that's done, we've really converted over everything we needed to have a lot of storage of cobblestone, but we do need a few other things that we want to do in the base, and I'm going to try to do a couple of those in today's episode, one of which is to make this room into something better. So for that, we're going to need some bookshelves, and I know we have some leather and some paper, but we probably don't have a lot of that. So let's see how much we can get here bookshelf-wise. We have no planks. Well, that's going to be a problem. What kind of wood do we have? We have tons of pine wood. So let's turn some of that into planks. That looks good to me. Let's do 4 stacks of that for now. And bookshelves. And we can get 7 bookshelves. That's actually not too terrible. What about making actual books? We could do it with blank patterns and string. Do we have... Good, we have some of those. 5 of those, and that's all the leather we needed. We can do 1 more bookshelf out of that. So there we go. Last bookshelf. And 8 bookshelves will give us quite a bit more enchanting room up here. Won't quite get us to the cap, but it's going to be a lot closer. 4, 5, 6, 7. Actually, 7 would have been an easier number to start with, but now you can see if we throw our osmium sword in here, we can do 16 level enchants. Smite 2 and Unbreaking 2. Well, not great, but it'll work. And I don't think, yeah, these aren't enchantable because those are made from Tinker's Construct. Can we upgrade this? We can't. So we'd have to make another osmium paxel. We can do that again at some point. Let's go ahead and sleep and make it daytime. But that sword will be fine for hunting zombies and skeletons and things at night. It'll do okay for now. It's obviously not the best sword we have or could have wanted, but it is going to be sufficient. And the last thing I wanted to do was to work on a quarry today, because we really need to get more materials. And I looked at the ender quarry. These are nice, but this actually requires ender infused obsidian and ender cores, which are made from magical wood, and ender eyes, and then that also needs a diamond etched infused obsidian, which is all sorts of burnt quartz and whatnot. These are very material costly, but they are really efficient once you get them up and running. We will probably go for one of those once we get an enderman spawner set up somewhere, but for now we're going to go with a regular quarry. And I went ahead and made a bunch of these gears already, so I think I have everything but the diamond pick, it looks like. So let's go ahead and make a diamond pick. And that's most of our diamonds. We have 2 left. That's going to be okay, because this quarry is going to work for a long time. There's our quarry. Okay, so we have a couple of options. One, we can do a quarry, we can do a tesseract to move power, or we can do a battery and then just replace it. Or we can do something like solar power, and that would work on its own in the mining world. So that's going to need some mechanism things. This is going to need metallurgic infusers. That's going to be a lot of power. Same thing with these even. That's going to be enriched alloys. I don't really want to go down that path right this moment. Photovoltaic cells from Ender IO require energetic alloys, and those are gold, glowstone, redstone. That might be worthwhile. So I'm going to go set some of that stuff up in a little bit. We'll worry about power, but let's go ahead and get some very basic stuff set up first. So we need this mining tool, and what are we missing from that? A flint and steel. That's pretty easy. We know we've got that. There's our mining tool. And then we need some mining portal blocks. What are those called? Portal frames? I think they're called portal frames. There they are, portal frames. We need the mining tool and some mossy stone bricks or stone bricks. And we can make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I think we need 12 of that, but let's check and see if we can do it with just 10. I'm trying to remember exactly how many. 4 tall, 2 in the bottom, that's 8, 10, 12. We do need 12 of those. Okay, so let's make 2 more. Oops. 1, 2. There we go. Take that back. And then we can create our portal wherever we want. Let's go ahead and create that. On this wall? Need it somewhere nearby. Let's do it right over here. So let's grab those two things. We're going to put this in the floor. So if it won't really be centered anywhere we put it, but let's do right here anyway. Okay, so I think what it is 1, 2, whoa. Yeah, we got some lag going on. I'm not real thrilled with that. I think we might have to put those corners in, but let's see if we can do it with the cheap way first. Like you can with the nether portals. I don't think that's going to be the case, but let's find out. Oh, perfect. It is. So we saved ourselves a little bit of materials, and let's go ahead and throw that back into the network. And let's go ahead, let's just go through and see where we are. Let's do that first. So you have to sneak into the mining world portals. And what this is a always daytime portal that has some flowers, and you can see Botania flowers in here. But yeah, it's basically just flat. It's just meant for setting up quarries and that sort of thing. So all we have to do now is grab some landmarks and some chests, and probably make ourselves an ender chest. And we can get in there with just a battery for the short term until we have enough ender pearls to make tesseracts, and that's going to be quite a bit more. So we'll go in there in a little bit. I'll show you what that quarry looks like once it's all set up. Alright, so we are back, and I've got a few things here that I need to finish up. So I'm going to put this redstone energy cell down here, and that should give enough power, enough power to this quarry. There it goes. That it should start working once I turn this configuration to orange. So that should put power out. Perfect. It's going. That's going to drain this thing pretty quickly. Actually, that's not terrible. But we are going to want to make sure we can provide more power than that for it. So we're going to put one of those cells out here, and then we're going to do a little bit of an array like this. I think that with these Ender IO cells, they actually all connect. So I don't have to... Yeah, that's actually going to put plenty of power in there. So this makes it one big energy cell. It's pulling in from the top. It is still pulling out faster than it's going in, but that's going to help us recharge a little bit. And when this thing gets completely drained, that'll help make this thing putt along just a little bit faster. So not ideal, obviously, but it does look like these become one big energy cell. It's kind of hard to tell. And what we're seeing here is all that's going into the ender chest. All the dirt is going to go into our network storage, and we are going to want to make some speed upgrades because this thing is going to fill up pretty fast otherwise. But we also want to put a chunk loader down here. We're going to throw that down there, and we're going to only load, okay, radius 2, 9 chunks. That should be fine because this is going to go out 2 chunks in that direction. This is a 2 chunk by 2 chunk quarry. So all of this should be working perfectly well. Let's go ahead and head back to our base. And I think the problem is we don't have a chunk loader on this side. So let's go ahead and come back over here and check on our ender chest downstairs. Yeah, now that's pulling out pretty fast. It's pulling out not quite as fast as it's coming in. Is it keeping up with the quarry? Yes, it definitely is. Okay, so we need to make one more chunk loader for over here, and we can also drop our landmarks off. Chunk loader. We don't have another enchanting table. Can we make another enchanting table? We don't have any obsidian. Okay, so we are gonna, yeah, because all of our obsidian is that. So as long as we stay in the house, that quarry will be running, and we are gonna have to replace the battery from time to time. What we'll probably do is just grab one of the other batteries, maybe this one. That would shut down the whole network briefly. But we'll figure it out. We'll make an extra battery, and maybe we'll just stick it on here and charge it out, and we'll swap it out from time to time. But the important thing is, once this gets through all this dirt, we're going to start getting all sorts of stuff from the mining world. And really all it costs us is some energy. So if we look over here, we're still actually buffered up to full. And the next thing we really could use is a tesseract to replace these temporary systems, and even those photovoltaic cells, which only produce 80 RF per tick with all 8 of them running. They're only 10 per each. So tesseracts are going to be the next thing. We're going to need a lot more stuff for that. And I think that's going to have to do it for this episode. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and hit that like button. If you really enjoyed it, then please subscribe. And as always, I've been BrickWaffle. Thank you for watching.